What's up guys, it's Jessica. I'm starting off by moisturizing my face with Tatcha water cream, then bouncing over to Wet n Wild foundation, making sure my face looks all flat, following some contour, using my trusty handy dandy Clarisonic with my Instagram name on it. I love this thing. I don't know how I was blending my contour before I had this thing. I mean, this thing makes it look flawless. Now I'm jumping over to my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in light neutral, and I'm just going to paint some war paint on my face so I'm ready for my blue attitude, if you catch my drift. Now I'm going to use my Eco Tools blender and make sure that looks all nice and blended. Oh shoot! Alright, now moving on to my translucent powder. I picked up Kat Von D's Locket powder, and I'm just going to set my entire face and make sure that my foundation and my contour isn't going anywhere. Now I am going to move on to set the rest of my face with this beautiful Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I'm in the shade 2 medium, and this just kind of brings some more warmth and color back into the face if we took any of that away from the translucent powder. Plus it creates a really nice smooth canvas for the contour. Speaking of contour, now I'm taking Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette, and I'm going to use that light banana shade in the middle for under my eyes. Then I'm going to use the darker shade in the corner to go ahead and powder over all my contour. Now I'm feeling frisky. Alright, let's move on to the eyes. I'm picking up ViseArt's palette here. I'm picking up this orange shade and blending that into my crease. Why orange, you say, when I'm doing a blue look? Because orange is really going to complement the blue and make sure that it fades really nicely and has a great transition from blue to the orange. You do have to be careful that this doesn't start to turn green, but you guys will see what I'm talking about. Next, I'm picking up this blue shade from the NYX Bright palette, and I'm starting to further warm or cool my crease with this blue. This is a great shade, and it's blending in really nicely with that orange shade from ViseArt. I'm taking that lighter blue and the darker blue from this palette to make sure I have a nice gradient effect and it doesn't look choppy or not blended. Now I'm jumping over to this NYX Jumbo pencil in the shade Cobalt. This is going to be my base for my blue. You want to go ahead and make sure that's blended out, so this way when the shadow sticks to it, it's a nice even blend. Now hopping over to my Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, which I love oh so much, I am picking up this blue shade called Dalia, and I'm going to pack that in really nicely because I want this blue to be electric. Like, I am piling that on, and then also making sure to blend out the edges into that crease shade that we did a little bit earlier. And then I'm also picking up a smaller brush here and picking up that same color from the Juvia's Place palette and blending that in even further to the crease. Next, I am placing NYX Jumbo pencil in the shade Milk and putting that in the corners of my eyes to use that as a base to set for NYX eyeshadow in the shade Frostbite, which is a beautiful white with the blue shift, like a metallic blue shift. This is like the perfect inner corner eye for a blue look. Next, to deepen in my outer corners of my eye, I'm picking up the shade Cleopatra. And this shade comes out of the Nubian 2 palette from Juvia's Place. Next, I am picking up NYX's Faux Whites liner in the shade Linen, which is a white with like a pink hue to it, and I'm putting that in my waterline. Now I'm picking up NYX Slide On eyeliner in the shade Azure. I'm using this as a base color for Dalia, which is that blue shade I put on the top of my lid before. And I'm going to pack that on in nice and good. And then I'm also going to add the orange shade from that ViseArt palette to blend it out on the bottom so it can match the top. I love this technique because it doesn't make the blue look so stark against my skin. Now to add a little bit of a pop under the eye, and in the center I am picking up NYX Pigment in the shade Luna, which is that white powdery shade that also translates as a shift of like this opalescent blue. It's like so stinking pretty. I'm putting it under my eye on the middle of my lid to create a subtle halo effect, and I'm also using that same pigment to highlight the rest of my face. I mean, this is pigmented and it is so beautiful. It's so like ethereal. I love to wear it. Moving on to the lip art, which originally I tried to create a braid, but that didn't work, and then I started to think it looked like a feather, but then ultimately my Instagram family, my Jessie squad, chimed in and said it looks like a clam or a seashell. So I'm going with the clam. I wish I put some little pearls around my lip, but maybe that's an idea for another time. So I used NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Jet Set. And then to fill in the lips, I'm picking up Lime Crimes Liquid Lipstick in the shade TeaCup. And I'm going to fill that in and make it nice and opaque. Now to give my little shell lips a little bit of dimension, I'm going to add some shading. So I'm hopping back over to the shade Dalia, which is that beautiful, rich, like royal cobalt blue. I'm going to go ahead and go over each one of those little curves in the shell, make it look a little bit more dynamic and add some shading so that it kind of looks 3D and a little bit popped out. Once I go over that, I'm going to go into the shade Cleopatra, which is a little bit darker, and then add even more dimension. So I'm going to go back over everything I just went over with Dalia. Now, because I just can't get enough of the NYX Pigment in Luna, I am going to highlight each one of those little scallops. And then I'm going into Lime Crime Diamond Crusher and going to highlight even further because why not? This Diamond Crusher shade is in the shade name Trip, and it is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, now moving on to outline our little scalloped little clam feather seashell lip. I picked up NYX's Vivid Brights liner. This is in the shade Vivid Sapphire. I was truly just messing around at this point. I didn't know what to do, but I said, hey, why not add some dots aiming down with a little swirl at the end, and then I had to, you know, add a little bit more on the other side. So I thought this was a cute touch. I also added a little bit of glitter and some blue freckles because we needed blue freckles.
Yo, listen up, here's a story about a little guy that lives in a blue world.
Okay guys, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching my Jessie Squad, and until next time, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment. I love you guys. As always, lots of hugs and love from my home to yours.
Everything is